Good morning. We're talking grid down this morning. Okay. In fact, yesterday morning, because of the DDoS attack or whatever it is that happened, Cloudflare, Google, X, everybody had severe interruptions, apparently. The first I noticed anything being wrong was actually yesterday morning when we went live. The show failed to connect to X and the locals channel. And I didn't think anything of it then as related to the rest of the internet, but apparently there was a massive internet outage for everybody yesterday. So this morning we'll be talking about that, what a DDoS attack is generally, what happened yesterday in the news related to loss of basically internet service, and we'll get into a little bit about the vulnerabilities of our massively integrated system. First, let me say good morning. I see little Cam's with us this morning. Pitt, Danny, good morning. Patrick Brown, good morning, brother. Aaron Olson, good morning, brother. Good morning. And I know a few of you in the chat there might have some interesting takes on this. If y'all want to pop in, Patrick, there's a link in the infamous thread, and Aaron Olson, I just sent you a link as well. If any of y'all want to pop in and add your 2 cents to this particular conversation. So yesterday, users report X, NJ Transit, that's the New Jersey transit system. So that's part of what's important to understand about this. A massive internet outage, at first blush, you might think, yeah, okay, so X is down. People can't make racist jokes about shitty politicians. We can't chew on Timu Obama for his BS takes, right? Oh, my feed of black fatigue and EBT rioting memes is going to be disrupted. Yeah, here's the thing. You think internet service on average, and that is what comes up first, is you think, oh, well, okay, X is down. I don't have social media. I can't go look at cat videos on Facebook. I can't watch conspiracy theory garbage on YouTube. I can't, maybe I don't have Netflix to chill out. Maybe Amazon Prime Video is down and the kids can't watch cartoons on that, whatever. Or you think about this, oh no, I can't buy more Chinese garbage from Amazon for a couple of minutes. All that may be true, and all that may sound a lot like first world problems and general inconvenience, but the internet is a much bigger and more integrated and complex system than you may realize. I know many of you have watched this show before and heard us talk about some kind of prepper stuff and all that, and may have a better understanding of this. And fair play to Hollywood and popular media generally. There have been several good films and TV series and shows. There was a show called Jericho several years ago. I think it ran for about 4 or 5 seasons, about a small town in a grid down situation following a nuclear attack. And I think I only ever watched the first 2 seasons. I don't think they ever actually said who launched the nuke. And, back to the failure of the internet generally. And in that show, this was long enough ago that the internet wasn't quite as ubiquitous, but related, grid down, all of a sudden you can't call out, right? The people in the little town in the middle of nowhere, they don't have communication lines to call out to state government for National Guard help, stuff like that. Patrick says, outages like that barely register anymore. I've become convinced that being a Luddite isn't a bad idea. Yeah, we're going to have to talk about the Luddites soon. I'm going to put the Luddites off for a minute because I want to talk about the Luddite movement rather in particularly in relationship to the AI development. But you may be onto something there, Patrick. But back to what I was saying about, not underestimating the significance of an outage like this. Note it mentions users report X and New Jersey Transit, right? So, a lot of you pay your bills online, right? What happens if there's some sort of a power down situation, outage situation, and you don't know how to pay your electric bill? Oh, well, it doesn't matter. The power's out. Yeah, okay, cool. How about the water? Well, okay, I've got a well, and I'm already screwed because the power's out. So I got to hook up my hand pump to the well or my generator to the well. Okay, cool. But okay, what about the mortgage? And this is kind of low level stuff. This is just how do I pay my bills? I got a better one for you. If the internet is the communication medium that's primarily running all of your primary civic infrastructure, right? The internet going down might not equal the electric company losing power. Okay, power may still be going, but is it going everywhere? Right? Think back to this time last year, we were basically just barely recovering from Helene. Now I'm in a small enough community where we're in the middle of nowhere, middle of Georgia, where there's basically, as far as history cares to admit, never been a hurricane that made it this far inland. And when Helene got to us here in middle of nowhere, Georgia, it was still a Category 1 hurricane. That's unheard of, right? So on the coasts where the hurricanes are more likely to hit, there are other provisions in place already, but not dissimilar to the way that a snowstorm, right? Think back to the snowpocalypse and the ice mageddons of 2014, 2015. In a place like Georgia, a little bit of snowfall can shut down the state real quick. And there's a reason for that. There actually is a good reason for that. The state being shut down for a day or two, even 3 or 4, not such a big deal. Because when we're talking about something like Snowmageddon, Ice Apocalypse, power outage wasn't the problem. It was the impassability of the roads that was the major problem. Where there were power outages, those are exacerbated and extended by the roads being made unpassable by the snowstorm. And it's something that, and here's where I compare it back to the coast versus somewhere like middle of nowhere, Georgia, where I am. The larger cities in the Northeast, as Northeast, Northwest, the North, where heavy snow accumulation on the ground is a fact of life, they have measures in place, right? They keep snow plows, salt and sand banks, salt and sand trucks to go out and clear the roads and make them passable. If you've never spent a significant amount of time in the north part of the country, where you've had to go out and shovel a driveway in the morning only for the snowplow to come by an hour later and cover up the end of your driveway, so you have to go get your damn shovel back out again, then you may not appreciate what I'm talking about here. But the fact is that places like that, they have civil infrastructure designed to deal with that predictable and recurring catastrophic event. Whereas somewhere in Georgia, we don't have that kind of civil infrastructure precisely because it happens so rarely that the cost-benefit analysis makes it just untenable, unintelligent to invest heavily in keeping things like snow cutters and snow plows and sand depots funded and operational, right? The city of Atlanta may have a couple of snow plows, but they're sitting in a motor pool getting double checked once a year to make sure that they're in in operation. Pitt Danny says, my mother would say, don't cry, your face will freeze. Now get off to school. Yeah, hey, when I was in my early and middle teenage years, we lived in Maine. Here you go, Patrick, back in Maine. And one of my most vivid and I'd say amusing childhood development stories, my first job, I worked at Bowdoin College in the kitchen. I started as a dishwasher and worked my way up to be an assistant manager. I ran the omelet bars in the mornings. I used to, I got paid like $8 an hour to teach shithead college students how to make an omelet on a little burner with a pan, right? Well, I would get my paycheck. This happened to me more than once. I'd go get my paycheck, and yeah, we're talking mid '90s. There was no direct deposit for a kid with a low wage job. I'd get my paycheck and have to physically carry it to the bank to either deposit or cash my paycheck. So I would ride my bicycle to the college, and then ride my bicycle to the bank, and then ride my bicycle to the nerd shop where we're going to play Magic and whatnot, right? And more than once, I did that in freezing rain. So up there, you've got your regular clothes and your jacket, and then you've got your snow gear that goes on over that. More than once, I got to the bank with my paycheck in my pocket and got off my bicycle, and my arms were frozen because freezing rain had pelted me. Face mask, warm hat, hood up, snow gear, and you get there and you step off your bicycle and you go, crack, right, to break loose from the frozen material around you. That is not an experience that children who grew up in the middle of nowhere, Georgia, can relate to, right? So Helene hit us, and hey, I got Aaron coming in. Excellent. So when Helene hit us, we had trees down. Thank God, my house, we had trees down all over the property, but the house is fine. But we were down power for a little better than 2 weeks after Helene went through. And here's the thing around the community outside. Stuff happens fast. Once the power's out, right, when I woke up the first morning after the storm went through, the first thing I did was I tried to call my parents to make sure they were okay and let them know that we were okay. And that wasn't an option, right? No cell service. So immediately I got in my car and I went down the street, and I had my phone up on the dashboard so I could see the signal meter, and I just drove until I had a couple of bars, and I called my mom, right? They were okay. We were okay. And but the signal was awful. We could barely have a conversation, but we made contact enough to say, everybody's okay. And then mom and dad drove over to my house to check on us and say hey to the kids. They had power down. And that's kind of, that's where it was. And for the weeks following that, we'll get into this a little more in a minute. After I let Aaron speak, he's been sitting there patiently. But pretty quickly you find out, you need cash money because credit cards don't work, right? The little Apple Pay tap button doesn't work. You need cash money, right? I keep, in my old pickup truck, I keep, when you buy certain grades of scotch, the bottle comes in a cardboard tube. You know what I'm talking about, right, Aaron?
No, I do not.
What?
I don't. But I can imagine. I'm guessing you have some pennies in there. Those pennies might be worth more than a cent now.
When you buy good scotch, like this isn't super high end. This is about an $80 or $70 or $80 bottle of scotch, I think. The Aberfeldy 12-year, right? The bottle. It's not like buying a bottle of Jack where you grab a bottle off the shelf. Yeah. It comes in this protected cardboard tube. Mm-hmm. So I keep one of these in my old pickup truck, and anytime I spend cash money while I'm driving my old pickup truck, I throw the change in there. Right?
Keep the pennies. So keep the pennies.
I tell you what, brother, that tube of quarters saved my ass a couple times during the whole Helene thing because you got to buy gas. And that's another thing.
Yeah.
As soon as the power went down, rednecks were pulling up to gas stations with a trailer with a 500-gallon gas tank on it.
Wow.
Filling that up at the pump while 1,000 people were in line waiting to get access to the pump. Started seeing signs all over the place. We're out of gas. Not the power's down, the pump don't work.
Yeah.
We're out of gas.
Yeah. The big old tankers can't get in.
Uh-oh. Hang on just a second. Go ahead and start talking, Aaron. I got to read my headset.
So it just sounds like the tankers can't get in. So once that happens, you're done. So sometimes if you have a big property, it might be a good idea to start, especially these days, especially with the internet stuff, is to start installing storage tanks for gasoline on your property.
Yeah, you have to be, and you have to be careful about gas. Not everybody knows this, but it's true. Gas has a sell-by date.
It does, yeah.
If you store gas for too long, it'll get gummy, and then you can't use it.
So then, would you say diesel instead then?
No, they both do it. Diesel does it slower, but yeah, they will both degrade over time. Yeah, like the Mad Max scenario type movie where it's like, oh yeah, 100 years ago everything went to shit, and we're just surviving on the gas that we can find. No, you're not. That gas doesn't work anymore. That gas is trash now. That gas has been trashed for 50 years.
So what's the alternative to that then? I've never thought about this before. But
that's a good question. If you want to talk long-term survival, where you're going to try and keep your fuel-powered equipment operational over a long term with grid down and no more commercial production, you need to get smart on biodiesel. You can in fact produce biodiesel in drums in your backyard. It's a bit involved. I don't do it here yet, but but yeah, if you're going to talk long term, then you got to get smart on making your own biodiesel.
That sounds like a plan.
So let me turn you up a bit.
Oh,
that's better.
That could be okay.
No, it's me, not you. I was listening to music on the quiet while I was working earlier. I turned it down so I'm not going too far overboard. My ears are bad enough.
No, but going back to the original topic, I did notice it was down yesterday for a few apps in the app X. If you want to go to search, the X search didn't work, and I saw several apps didn't work, and I was going, "What's going on?" So I started Googling, "Is there an outage somewhere?" And it said, "Oh, Cloudflare is down," which had been having some issues for the last couple of days. And well, that's great. Thanks, internet. It's not the first time it's happened this year. It's like the third or fourth time it's happened this year alone.
And the reporting on it says a major outage of internet infrastructure from Cloudflare knocked parts of the internet offline, disrupting access to X, NJ Transit, ChatGPT, and other major platforms early Tuesday morning.
No, what are the companies going to do without ChatGPT?
Well,
have employees?
Exactly. But the root cause of the outage, according to reporting, was a configuration file that is automatically generated to manage threat traffic. The file grew beyond an expected size of entries and triggered a crash in the software system that handles traffic for a number of Cloudflare servers. Cloudflare said it was dealing with a major outage on Tuesday. About 15 minutes later, they acknowledged the disruption, saying Cloudflare is aware of and investigating an issue which potentially impacts multiple customers. Further detail will be provided as more information becomes available. Later updated the status saying it was continuing to investigate the issue, and we are seeing services recover, but customers say may continue to observe higher than normal error rates.
Well, this also started over the weekend because one of the companies I work for, their site was down, or work with. I couldn't access their website because of that. I got that same error that you had posted up further up the thread.
Right.
It was a several days build up to this.
So they said they said that there was some unusual activity, which sounds like they're trying not to say that there was some sort of a unintentional attack.
Yeah.
And the way that integrated communication systems work, it's actually, there's so much redundancy in those systems.
Yeah.
It's
you're right,
it's difficult. It's difficult for there to be a failure of this level that's unintentional without some kind of natural disaster situation. Like, a hurricane blows through and destroys a major data center hub. Okay, gotcha. Failing a piece of the physical infrastructure that is just too centrally nodally connected, it's difficult to imagine something like this happening without some sort of external human involvement, even if it's just gross human failure, incompetence, right?
Which I think we're getting more of if we start importing H-1Bs. It happens more. And
that they think. Yes, and we do have a crisis of competence in this country. We've been talking about it on the show recently and frequently. I used the example before talking about, I've got a great mechanic in Conyers and I've got a great mechanic in Milledgeville, both of whom are just, smart as a whip, and they can take 3 cars apart and put one back together out of them. Almost without regard to the state of functionality of any of the original donor vehicles, just off the top of their heads. I've seen them do it, but more and more, you're finding people in professional jobs. I've seen doctors do it. Right, we're about to fire a supplemental homeschool program because their teachers do it. You're a professional. I expect you to be competent in your profession, and you're going to YouTube University. And now, understand, I'm not talking about okay, I'm a doctor, and in my spare time, I watch YouTube videos about doctor stuff, as kind of almost like a passive professional maintenance type of thing. So, okay, I'm a professional neurosurgeon. It's Saturday. I'm grilling burgers for the family, and I've got my iPad up on the Grill Zebo so I can watch another doctor talk about neurosurgery and listen to him, and keep the jargon fresh, kind of refresh my perishable skill. I'm a Korean linguist, and while I'm making kimbap in the kitchen for the family, I'm watching a Korean drama, watching Put Hausa while B is berating the writer chick and saying, yeah, yobo papi, right? Keep my language skills sharp, maintain that perishable skill. No. I've been in the doctor's office while he's diagnosing an illness, right? And he's pulling up YouTube videos to show me about the thing. Cool,
that
but
might have been for your benefit.
I could do that. I didn't come here to watch YouTube videos with you. I came here to. Okay, great. There's another. So what you're really telling me, Doc, is I should have called this guy.
Yeah.
Right.
Why am I paying you if you're showing me how we go to YouTube?
And now, you just asked me, are they doing that for your benefit? And the simple answer to that is, at least in part, yes. But I've seen mechanics pull it up on YouTube or Google, how do I do X, and I can do that. Mm-hmm. Right. Now, in fairness, also, there's some stuff that a mechanic does, like an oil change. I can do an oil change. I don't have to get on Google to do an oil change.
How do you get rid of the oil in the time that takes?
You don't. Yeah. You keep it around because used oil is useful. Okay. In fact, it's useful in the process of making biodiesel. Hint. But it's also useful if you're trying to burn a big pile of debris. Right. There are actual uses for old oil that's worth keeping a little on hand for. But I digress. The point I was getting to there, I don't even need to go on YouTube University and look it up to see how to do an oil change. But I know this: if I go buy the stuff, I go buy the oil and take the time to do it myself, I might save myself $15 or $20,
mm-hmm.
maybe a little more, but not much, over going to a place that's dedicated to doing oil changes, and they'll have me in and out in 15 minutes. Whereas trying to do it in my driveway with jack stands or ramps, right, and getting myself messy, and it'll take me half an hour to do it probably.
Yeah.
I'm not set up to do it, right? So something like that, it's worth doing, especially with my newer truck. I got the new Expedition, right? I love my Expedition. I watch my mechanic change the oil. There's this whole cosmetic plate up under the thing that has to be removed, and then you do the oil change. That surprised me. And Danny points out, and when you go get your oil changed at like a Valvoline place or even a mom and pop joint, they check everything else too. They check your fluids, they check your air pressure, and they do a hell of a lot more than just change your oil. So it's worth it to pay the mechanic to do the thing, right? In fact, if it's not worthwhile to you, if you don't find that it's worth a little bit of money to pay a competent professional to do things that you can do yourself because they can do it faster, your time isn't worth enough, and you need to rethink the way that you're living your life.
Yeah, very true.
It's okay. We love the puppies.
Okay, well, she's on the other side of the house and on the first floor. Seriously.
I'm not sure if Patrick wanted to say I hate barking or I heart barking. So
the next door neighbor's getting the roof replaced, and so she's got to protect our house.
Ah, I see. Okay, so because I mentioned in the title, Grid Weakness Exposed, DHS Whistleblowers, there have been more than a few DHS whistleblowers and other energy sector whistleblowers, data sector whistleblowers for decades who have been warning, look, we have major vulnerabilities in our systems. And we do. And
it's not that hard to shut down half the country.
Right. And for anybody who's ever worked in a government job, military, FAA, we're running this country on computers that are 30 years old.
Or
older in some cases.
Yeah, right? Which is very easy to replace. I don't know. I know how to build computers because I built this one back here, and it's not that hard to do.
It's really not. I mean, you're not talking about ordering the raw parts and soldering together your own graphics card, right? No. All the parts are plug and play. You order the parts and you put them together.
Yeah.
Right. Not terribly difficult.
You guys gotta make sure they all fit together. Oh gosh. They have Windows 95.
Yep. Yeah. Well, at least they didn't stall out at, what was it? Windows
XP? Windows
XP. XP or 07? Oh my God. Windows 11 is all right. Windows 11 right. It's working out pretty good for me. It's no XP was a nightmare. But yeah, Patrick's catching up. XP, there you go. Aaron, you're such a freaking hacker. Jiggly, I think you missed it yesterday while Cammy Pants was in the chat. I threw one up for you, baby, and you weren't here to comment. You got to be here every day so you don't miss the Cammy Pants. So, like I was saying, the whistleblowers, we've been hearing it for years. Machines will go down, and there's massive vulnerability. And we've even had where do I have it? Council on Foreign Relations released this report in.
I'll be right back.
Go ahead.
Calm down.
Released this report several years ago, referring to a cyber attack on the U.S. power grid. Let me double check this. When was this report published? I don't see the date. Okay, this is as far back as April 2017. Right. So it's by no means a new idea that there are massive vulnerabilities. And this report even details our foreign adversaries conducting probative operations to try and identify weaknesses on our grid for exploitation. And that's, our COINTEL operations have to deal with that as well. Our hostile foreign adversaries are in fact interested in what they can do to essentially precipitate a grid down scenario in the United States. And that's a major threat. I watched a great video yesterday by, I think it's Battle Deer. I can go look him up in just a second here, but he did a great video on the types of people that you deal with in the survival situations.
There were six.
Go back up to this one. Say again.
Are there 6 different ones?
I think he said this one was the 3 most dangerous people after the collapse of society, and how to spot them. Turbo Stag. Here, I'll share.
The desperate parent, the most dangerous person.
I'll share the tab with you guys. This guy right here, Turbo Stag. Check him out. He's got some pretty solid survivalist content, that type of stuff. And he talks about the 3 most dangerous types of people. So go check that one out. One of the, as he puts it, one of the most dangerous types of people. The third type that he talks about is the desperate parent, right? The rest of them are like, first you've got the opportunists, then you've got the panics, the panicked people, but then you've got the desperate parents. Because, hey, I promise you this. I have 4 kids, guys. I have 4 kids and a wife. And if the lights
Single
go,
people are toast.
their lives are forfeit.
Yeah.
Right? If my baby girl tells me she's hungry, I will murder the world to fix that.
Yeah.
So
Bill Burr has a good joke about this.
No, he doesn't. Bill Burr doesn't have any good jokes.
It's before he went woke. Before he got married. I think he's talking about guns, saying it's not going to be the guy growing something. It's going to be the guy with the gun walking around that takes everything. I don't remember it off the top of my head. I just remember he's got a joke about it.
Oh, you brought up a joke and then you ruined it? Aaron.
I'm sorry. I can find it. I'll find it.
If this was Louder with Crowder, I would admonish you.
Speaking of which, he had 2 questions that day. He's milked it for 2 weeks now.
Let's go to ChatGPT for the. I've got the kind of the timeline of the collapse from ChatGPT here. Let me spin that up a little bit so it's easier to read for the audience. So 0 to 24 hours, right? And I'll tell you, I've lived through the up to the 2 to 4 weeks, right? Because we were out of power in my little Georgia community for about a little over 2 weeks. Oh, no, not quite a full month. I did like 3.5 weeks. It was a while, but 0 to 24 hours. Okay, the lights go off. It says at first people treat this like a typical outage. Okay, here, what that looked like. We woke up the morning after the hurricane came through. The power was still out. You know what? We got out the camp pot, and I fired up the griddle outside, and I broke open a can of biscuits. Right? I made canned biscuits and bacon and eggs on the griddle and use my little cook pot to heat up a pot of water and do instant coffee in, and then brewed a pot of good coffee on the griddle. Everything propane on the griddle. We had breakfast. We had coffee.
Getting ready to go find the Yankees.
Yeah, exactly. Those sons of bitches. those Yankee whores of hermaphroditic nature with neither the firmness and courage of a man nor the compassion and tenderness of a woman. You must fight them everywhere you encounter them. But that first day we weren't really worried about anything. And we got lucky. My mom and dad live close enough to be convenient, but far enough away that they're a little closer to a somewhat more metropolitan location. They got their power on much quicker. I think they had power down for 2 or 3 days. And I took my wife and kids over, and they stayed at the farm with mom and dad. And I did too overnight, but Patrick says check signal messages. Yes, Patrick. I'll get back to that in a minute. Damn it. Okay. So I was coming back to my house every couple of days to just check on the situation, right? Because we didn't have any communication. I couldn't tell if the power was back on at that point unless I physically drove home and went to the house to see if the power had come back on, right? A few weeks of that it wasn't harrowing so much as kind of nerve-wracking. Now I've got a diesel generator on site that my buddy Rod gave me because he happened to have a spare. Thanks again, by the way, Rod, for that wonderful gift. But you immediately started seeing, okay, traffic. This is a small town, right? Traffic doesn't happen here unless the lights to the traffic light, the power to the traffic lights is out. Those don't work. People don't know how to operate a four-way stop without a sign to tell them what to do. And you add to that, you got lines down the street clogging up traffic of people trying to get gas to take home for their generators and trying to, and they're showing up and being told, oh no, we don't have credit card machines. You have to pay for everything with cash. Well, nobody carries cash. Okay, yeah, Aaron, we'll get to that in just a minute. So communications began to falter. I already told you about having a drive until I found signal. Go ahead, Aaron.
I didn't mean to cut you off. I just want to put that in there because
no, you're good. Go.
Relates.
You're good. We'll get to that in just a minute.
Yeah.
So 1 to 3 days. Now you're getting into refrigeration failure, right? The food at the grocery store is going bad. And
that brings back
so
bad smells.
Your Walmarts might be your local Walmart might be in a little bit of trouble for that, but your local mom and pop grocery stores, this can be ruinous. This can be you got a mom and pop grocery store, and I'm in a kind of place where we have those.
Ranches too. Meat packing plants.
Yeah.
Devastating.
Yeah. Well, the little hold on, the little mom and pop grocery stores, if their refrigeration fails and the produce and meat goes bad in there, that's not just lost revenue. That's lost investment that's unrecoverable. They've just blown their margins. They can't, they lose $20,000 or $30,000 worth of meat and veggies, right? Just like small restaurants, right? It may not be possible for them to recover from that, right? That's a big deal. Law enforcement. Yeah, sorry guys, you're on your own. If you can't call, if you can't call 911, it doesn't matter if you have police or not, right? Now, 4 to 7 days. Now we're talking about food supply chain broken. Learn to hunt, guys. Maybe plant a few things. And remember, this doesn't have to be, the Red Army's invading and has destroyed our grid, right?
Nope.
Grid down grid down can be just, half the state of Florida, half the state of Georgia is without power for a month because of a hurricane, because of a tropical storm, what have you. So yeah, you see the ready meals or whatever, the 5-gallon square buckets of MREs. The prepper thing, guys, you don't have to be concerned about the zombie apocalypse to understand that, if all the power goes down for a month, it's not a bad idea to have food you can feed to your children on hand if you happen to be stuck.
And now we're going to announce our today's sponsor, Jim Baker.
Yeah, I wish I had a survival meal sponsor for this segment. That would have been fantastic.
Talking about Jim Baker, right?
Actually, hold on a second.
He sells the food buckets. He's like, you can turn all these buckets into furniture.
TWC ivermectin, Blue Chew, no. Nope, I don't have any sponsors available for I don't have any sponsors available to do an ad read for hot and ready meal type of stuff. Oh well.
No Patriot Supply, nothing like that.
No Patriot Supply, nothing like that on the campaign. I've got a list of campaigns I can read from, and none of them are offering to pay me for this episode right now. I'll do a paid ad read tomorrow.
Well, you can buy a bunch of those Friday survival buckets and make them into furniture in your house.
Now, and honestly, we've got some here that we made ourselves. We bought 5-gallon buckets and gamma lids, and the I forget what it's called. It's like the foil wrapping. So I've got a vacuum sealer and a heat sealer for the foil wrapping, and so we did beans and sugar and a shitload of coffee, right? And dried meats and canned veggies. So we've got basically homemade MRE packets that we've built, and I think we've got about 6 months worth of food stored that way, or we did.
Would you ever add salt to that list?
There is salt on. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. One of the 5-gallon buckets is just salt.
Oh yeah. Perfect.
Yeah. That's a no-brainer right there. I keep a bottle of iodine on hand too, and various mechanisms for fire starting. Oh hell yeah.
Yeah, but people my age, usually nobody's ever thought about this stuff, and so it's like, gotta say it, or else they won't know about it.
Yeah, because hey, when the end times come, please believe I will turn wild boar into wild bacon.
I believe it.
I will salt the shit out of a fatty pig and hang his ass in strips in a cold smoker, and that will go directly onto whatever I have to pump through the Blackstone to burn it. And if it comes down to it, if it gets too far desperate, God shit. When I was in Afghanistan, we built a grill out of a 50-gallon drum and the iron floor grating out of one of the bombed out armored personnel carrier trucks, right?
Oh wow!
So you know what Diamond Grill grate looks like, right?
Yes. Yep. Yeah.
Yep. So we took a big plate of Diamond Grate grill and put it on a half, a sawed in half 50-gallon drum that we cleaned out, and we would burn pallet wood in that to grill lamb burgers on.
Oh wow, that sounds great.
So, I mean, I ain't the reddest of rednecks. I did grow up in some pretty metropolitan and suburban areas, but
you gotta do what you gotta do.
I'm country boy and survivor soldier enough that I'll figure out a way to kill something to eat it. And there was a recent report on the sociological study of grid down, end of days type of scenarios, and they were talking about, in particular, places like New York City, the big metros, especially one like New York, where you have to cross a bridge to leave the city. And it was, in 3 days, people know. They were saying within 3 days, cannibalism will begin to occur.
Dang. Have some faith in humanity.
3 days? 3 days? So like they do have faith in humanity, but half of New York is foreign born.
This is
More
true.
than half of New York City are foreign born. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
terrible
So
to think
cannibalism in 3 to 5 days. Right. So,
wow.
you wanted to talk about solar panels in America first.
Yes. How much time do we have?
As much time as you want to talk.
Oh, okay, cool. We're gonna go for the next 2 hours then.
Well, in fairness, I need to leave here at 10 o'clock because my my chiropractor appointment is at 11 and it's in Greensboro. Let me double check that. Make sure I'm not going to be late because I'm leaving late. No. Go ahead though.
One of the things that I was want to talk about, like in this kind of a scenario, I would say solar panels are a good supplement to the energy sector. We would have to upgrade all the power lines to be able to accommodate the extra energy flow. But if you're in a survivalist situation, one of those Tesla house batteries and some solar panels doesn't sound like the worst thing to add to your house. Or to a business, or to the government buildings for that matter too.
I have looked into solar panels a bit. There are some programs now for low-income people where they're going around putting in solar panels for free.
Not for free, it's a scam. My dad's had to deal with some of that. He's representing some people on that, and it's not free. No.
Yeah, so the way it works, they tell you that it's free. What it really is they sell you the solar panels with essentially a 30-year loan on the solar panels, and they build the solar panels for your house to replace your energy consumption with the actual grid. So the theory is that what you currently pay for your electrical bill becomes the bill on the loan for your solar panels. And where that gets scammy and shady is you're actually still connected to the grid. You still have power coming in from the solar company, from the power company.
Yeah.
And you're getting power from your solar panels to offset that. In theory, they build the solar panels for your house and your consumption rates to exactly or close to exactly offset what you would be paying the power company, the electric company.
And you got going both ways. You got the flow of energy going both ways.
Right. Well, it comes in and the power company will buy your excess power from you. Yeah. Right. They will end up sending you a check as long as everything goes correctly. But you got a month of cloudy skies and rain, and all of a sudden you still have to pay the note on the solar panels, and your local EMC sends you a power bill.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, that's just a trade-off. That's why I would say it's a good supplement. But in times of disaster, if you have a battery in your house that Tesla sells or some of these other companies sell, I would say that maybe it could last you for a few days. I don't know if that kind of technology will get cheaper as time goes on, or maybe even having a car battery set up in your house, not inside your house, but somewhere on your property, if you can't get or in addition to a generator.
But yeah, I mean, just to do it, to put solar and a battery on your home for average energy consumption, you're talking $75,000, $80,000, $90,000.
Oh yeah.
To just get it done.
Yeah. Which is
the vast majority of people who do it are financing it, and they're financing it through an energy usage offset scheme. But I mean, I ain't gonna lie, I've seriously considered taking one of those deals myself out here, because just having one, if I had solar right after Helene, we would not have been out of power for 2 or 3 weeks, right?
Yeah, and that's all I'm trying to think, especially with all these other data centers coming on. And if it's like, I don't understand why, like, if everyone wants to go care about global warming, why doesn't the government start putting them on all their buildings too?
Well, and yeah, the solar power is a good.
I'm still here.
Okay, solar power is a good survival mechanism. It's a good emergency preparedness mechanism. It's not a great. The technology's just not there yet for it to be a total replacement for energy generally. I think Elon is correct that solar is the future. But that technology is just not there. It has to develop a lot more. But part of what's going to be important there. We're about to wander off into a different topic for just a second. Let's say all of a sudden we could wave a magic wand today, and all the cars, all the buses, all the trucks were EVs. Everything.
Okay.
Well, no. Not unless that magic wand also dramatically expands our grid. Our current electrical grid cannot handle the amount of electricity that would be required to operate, for everybody to operate EVs to the same level of operation that we currently expect to get out of our dyno gas vehicles.
Yeah,
there's just not enough electricity for that. Now,
in the Biden they asked a guy in Congress about it. I don't remember his name, but I remember him saying, "No, we can't handle it. It would cook everything."
And another problem that doesn't get discussed in that's only tangentially related because it's a problem of EVs. EVs generally, especially when you get into the big EVs like electric vehicle tractor trailers, the batteries are so heavy. Right, I've talked about the batteries being heavy and that making them inefficient, right? Making the motors work harder, and you're losing a lot of energy distribution efficiency. Well, there's another problem. They're so heavy. They're not just. It's not just like you always have a full tank of gas. No, they're 2, 3, 4 times heavier than a full tank of gas.
It's a moving brick.
The roads. And the parking garages and parking lots and the entire network of paved surfaces across the world is not strong enough to handle that much additional weight. Right? You're talking about basically you're talking about sedans that weigh as much as a half a tractor trailer. Talking about doubling and tripling the weight of every vehicle on the road. Yeah, no problem. That's not going to work for you. That's not going to be the one you want. No. But let's say we have some clever guy come out with a brilliant new polymer surfacing material that makes the roads more resilient, ready to deal with the weight. We still don't have the grid power to sustain. That said, once we move, and I think we will, once we've moved to more and more homes being solar, if we cross a threshold where more than half of homes are powered almost exclusively by solar, then we start to get into a world where it becomes possible, if everybody's charging their EVs off their own solar system, their own solar installations, then you've got something where the EVs become more plausible, more attainable.
Yeah, it would just mean that the power grid system would be constant all day.
Pitt Danny says they have to have a leap in technology. And yeah, the leap, one leap that we're looking at, I talked about the other day, there's some companies out there that are doing some experimentation with material where they're basically turning the battery in the EV into the frame of the car.
Yeah, you mentioned that a few days ago.
So
That's
you're basically eliminating the weight of the frame by replacing the frame with the battery. That
just don't bend the
if
frame.
If that could be done, yeah, no shit. You got to wonder. Wait, does that mean that every fender bender is going to be in an atomic explosion?
Oh my gosh, it just cost me $100,000. My insurance won't cover it, and it's an illegal, and you're screwed.
Yeah, it'll be so that'll be interesting. So let's see. I just asked ChatGPT for my area code, for my zip code. She says that if I want to go with a large system, that's 2 power walls and an 8 to 10 kilowatt system, that would be, after factoring in incentives from the government, between $25,000 and $30,000. I don't think that's correct.
Solar panels and a battery?
She's saying that's for an 8 to 10 kilowatt system and 2 power walls. That the power walls are a battery. That's the Tesla battery.
Not right at all. Because
I think that sounds. I think that sounds
the battery
really
coming from? Because I know the Tesla battery costs $10,000 a piece.
Let me ask. Where are you getting those numbers? I'm not going to share the screen with you guys because I put my zip code in there.
I think they already found you, Chris.
Oh, you saw the 811 video, did you?
Turns out those were real.
Did you say the power? Did you say the EV, the Tesla battery, the power wall is about $10,000?
Yeah. I've been to the store because I had to go there a few times. Whenever I was the first time I think I was on here or something, where the protests happened, I was going to that Tesla dealership on a monthly basis. I asked them about the battery's like $10,000. They have roof tiles that act like it, but the whole roof, that you can replace your entire like shingle roof surface with their panels that can absorb solar and turn your whole house surface without adding panels on top of it into the source point where the energy comes in, and that costs $100,000 to $200,000 for all that. So
it's okay. So I'm looking at some numbers here on ChatGPT from articles by places like Energy Sage. It says average installed cost in Georgia is $2.41 per watt as of this month. That makes a 5 kilowatt system around $12,000, and that's before 30% federal tax credit on getting the solar system. So that's a dramatic change from the estimates that I was looking at just 6 months ago. That's big news, right? That's actually big news by itself right there. That might be worth looking at a little bit later.
Maybe it's a FEMA thing because of Georgia and the hurricane stuff.
Maybe. I'll have to look into that.
It'd be interesting.
So, well, brother, you got anything else you want to talk about this morning?
Yes, just one more thing, and this all ties together. The America First argument about where the money's going, because this is one of the things I think that we need to upgrade. The power network, just everything here, infrastructure-wise. I think all that stuff falls under infrastructure, and it's one of the arguments that people are wanting to spend money here, as opposed to constantly sending out to other foreign countries, in part to like Ukraine, where those two people have just fled Ukraine and I think they ran to Israel. I was trying not to bring them up today, but they ran to Israel.
You didn't want to mention the Olsenites?
No, I was trying to be good. Because one of the arguments of America First is the Israel lobby too, and the money going there. But I was trying to be nice today. But,
well, and you know what? I've said it many times on the show too. It is perfectly reasonable to be critical of Israel.
Yeah. The government.
The thing that I want to avoid. is we've got a lot of people out there that are Tim Pool talks about him being Israel first, no matter what. So on one side, it's is Israel good, always good, Israel, Israel, Israel. Give them the money, trust them, they're always the best. And then another one is, oh, the Jews are destroying everything. Israel controls the banks and Hollywood and everything. And somewhere in the middle, it is perfectly reasonable to criticize Israel and say we're sending them too much damn money, and no foreign government should ever be making foreign policy decisions on behalf of the United States of America. But those two extremes, the Israel derangement syndrome people on both sides, they can't see the forest for the Jews. They lose the details. They lose the important details in the in trying to cram everything into this bizarre, six-pointed star conspiracy.
Yeah, but I was just saying that we would rather spend the money needs to be spent here now before 100%. We ever have some great calamity. Until we won't realize it until we're in the middle of a natural disaster or terrorist attack or any other random like the East Palestine train incident.
Right. We should treat Israel like a teenage daughter that doesn't answer the phone when daddy calls. I'll just stop paying for it.
Yeah.
I've got 2 teenage daughters with cell phones, and I've told them, listen, daddy doesn't have to pay for the cell phone. You answer it when I call you.
So I just think that, all that stuff ties together to where we need to. It's like the method or the mentality of leadership. Who's really leading who? The leader has to take care of themselves first in order to be able to constantly be there for everybody else. And if we can't do that in our country, for the base, if we fall, well, you do too. And so let us take care of ourselves for a little bit.
Yep. So yeah, let's keep our money here. Go tariffs.
Yes. How about them 2K checks? They're actually coming next year now. No.
Oh, the 2K checks. I mean,
I don't want it. I mean, I'll use it, but I don't want it.
I wish Mario was on with us this morning. Remember back in 07 or 08 when Bush sent everybody like a $500 check or something?
No, I was too young.
Oh, no. Mario and I were taxpayers at that point. We were both enlisted. We got the checks.
I didn't even know what was going on.
We got the checks, and back then they actually mailed us checks. And Mario and I went to the bank and cashed the checks, and then I took Mario to we went to a liquor store and bought some kind of fancy beer. And then we stopped, we went to this coffee shop that we used to go to all the time. We're sitting there drinking a cup of coffee, and Mario leans over like real conspiratorially, and he says to me, hey, Lowry, hey, those beers we got? Yeah. We should go out back and drink them. Like he's about to make some big conspiratorial declaration. Yeah, we should let's drink them. It's like 9:00 in the morning. All right, Mario, let's go have some fun. So, all right, let's go ahead and put a pin in it there.
Can I address Danny really quick? He said if they build power plants for the data centers in an emergency shutdown. So my first job, my first real job out of college, was working for one of the HVAC companies out at the Google construction site in Pryor, Oklahoma, where they're trying to build the biggest hub in the center of the country for data centers. And each data center has 8 massive diesel generators, and they have extra fuel tanks on site. So they have backup, and so they can still run for a few days in the event of something that happens.
Yeah, we didn't even touch on that earlier. When we were talking about grid down scenario,
I think the power plants are just to take the data centers off the national power grid.
Right.
Which would be nice.
Yeah.
It's a national security issue.
Yep.
Enron, don't sell the electricity.
Yeah, it would be worth it. it would be worth the infrastructure investment to put hardcore solar on the data centers.
Oh yeah, they have tons of roof surface up there. Like, I don't understand why they don't do it. It doesn't make any sense. Like, do it.
In fact,
what are you waiting for?
In fact,
it's all flat up there.
Yeah, not only that, it's what it is right now. It is collecting solar energy into a facility.
Yeah.
Into a facility that needs to be cooled constantly, right? Solar panels could reduce that problem and supply power in a big way. Yeah. And it's insane that's not already happening.
Well, I think also it's a matter of leadership mindset, because like ever since 2015 or so, a lot of the leadership that is in Google is Indian, and I don't think they say that they do. I've seen it, but I don't think they quite understand.
They don't understand, son.
I don't think they quite understand all the technology that's available, and then they have a very arrogant attitude. Because we had one exec come down, and I was around for just a few minutes, and going, "I'm never working for Google," because those people are arrogant.
Yeah. All right. Well, guys, y'all be safe out there. We love you, and we will see you. Or at least I will. Maybe Aaron. We'll talk. We'll see what's going on later. Tomorrow.
Sounds good. See ya.
Yeah, brother, you're always welcome back anytime you want to pop in. Just let me know if you got a show you want to do.